Forum is starting a residential program and specifically designed for those students who didn't clear prelims earlier. At that moment, I felt that this program is tailor-made for you because what you described in that email, it felt like somebody was describing me.
नहीं सर, मैंने नहीं बनाया, ये मैं क्रेडिट नहीं लूँगा, आपने बनाया है, मैंने उसको गाइड किया है बस। और हर माता पिता करता है ना, कौन नहीं करता है सर, कौन नहीं चाहता है सर।
Fortunately, sir, I cleared prelims and then, sir, the same schedule for mains, FRC 4 started at the same place and again I made the same promise. चाहे वो AWFG का टेस्ट हो या SFG का हो या करंट अफेयर्स की क्लास हो, I'll do it, सब कुछ करूँगा जैसा जैसा मुझे बताया जा रहा है. And fortunately it worked again. Then I stayed there for interview also and fortunately I got the rank.
And before coming to FRC, literally there was a lot of broken confidence and I thought I would never be able to clear pre. This is the biggest hurdle of my life. But then ever since December, things changed and I just followed the plan to the hilt. Gave every test, even the open test, all the simulators, the CSAT simulators also. It was for the first time that I cleared the prelims, I cleared the mains, and then I cleared the interview and finally got a job under Government of India. I was a part of FRC 1 and FRC 4. So I think FRC played an instrumental role in making me what I am today.
So I was scared, very honestly. I think a lot of my motivation for so many things is just a fear of failure. I'm not sure what a therapist or a psychologist might say about that.
मेरा नाम डॉक्टर आकांक्षा सिंह है। मैं गाज़ीपुर ज़िले से रहने वाली हूँ। मैं ऐसे पेशे से डॉक्टर हूँ। मैंने MBBS और मास्टर्स कर रखी है। मैं गायनोकोलॉजिस्ट हूँ। ये मेरा सेकंड अटेम्प्ट था जिसमें मेरी 301 रैंक आई है UPSC CSE 2025 में।
So first is a sense of discipline, whether that's SFG or sometimes that I followed in AWFG also for the mains part. A sense of discipline that this is the target for the day. You got to complete your syllabus, immaterial whether you're completing 80%, 70%, 100%, but you have to come up, show up every day and write the test.
Many congratulations to all of you who have cleared the prelims. Let us give them a big hand.
I subscribed to the second level of SFG. I think I told you so. I'd gotten to know about sir from a very close friend, which was honestly like my paradigmatic change, if you will call it, towards prelims preparation came when I heard sir speak on prelims.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is a fabulous day for us because I have with me today Mr. Anshuman Kumar Singh, who's been able to get rank 2 in the Indian Forest Services exam for 2025. It is a distinctive achievement because he has exceptional scores. I'll let him tell you about all of the things that he does and how he's able to get these great scores. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. The Forest Services cutoff for prelims is exceptionally high and the papers are getting more and more difficult. The first thing I want to ask you is, tell us all about your scores and what do you do in prelims?
Ma'am, this year my prelim score is around 142 and last year, ma'am, 2024, my score was 105. So my strategy for ma'am prelims, especially like what I feel for last 2 years, it is 40% is your knowledge. Knowledge is required, basic understanding, and then ma'am, it's a logic and elimination, how to get to the answer. So, ma'am, for that, I particularly religiously follow the SFG program, both here, 2024-25, and simulator program, ma'am. I used to see all the videos of 4M IS, and I used to learn a lot of things, how to approach the answer, ma'am, and focus on PYQ, ma'am. But last year, I was more of a logic and understanding kind of my preparation was there, and that helped me a lot, ma'am, for getting good score.
You know, one of my concerns is that we often gloss over the details of what we mean when we say things like that. So when there's a student, and I'm sure you also must have felt that problem, that you listen to a lot of people who tell you, "Acha, this is what I do in prelims." But a little more detail helps us actually communicate what this logic means. So when you read a question, what exactly does one have to do? And again, there are plenty of people who are doing SFG, but you are using SFG in a way which is working splendidly. So that is what I want to know from you.
Ma'am, firstly, before approaching any question, ma'am, you should be clear of your thought. You should not go by any preconceived notion. Like if you'll see any new terminology, you hold your horses and you read whole question and statement, ma'am. Then you arrive with the blank mind. It should not happen. You start recalling your notes. You should go with a fresh mind and see whether you are able to arrive at question and understand the basic instinct of the question. What question is really asking you? If it is on moderate or tough side, I think, ma'am, it is enough hint given in the question to arrive at the solution, ma'am.
Give me an example.
Ma'am, likewise this year, ma'am, there is a question of Army headquarters and the COPs. Like,
Yes.
Suppose COP 3 is in Dimapur, COP 4 is in Tejpur, COP 11 is in Leh, and COP 33 is in Srinagar.
Yes, that's the question. And they're saying you match it to which one is wrong?
Not correctly matched. So if no one is aware about where is the headquarters is located.
And it's very detailed, and a lot of students have this problem. Why are they asking us?
But if you'll see the first two, like 3 and 4, it is in Dimapur and Tejpur, which is nearby.
Yes.
And Leh and Srinagar is nearby. So how come 11 of Leh and 33 is Srinagar?
Oh, so you're working according to the count.
Yes, ma'am. It's like a CSAT.
Oh.
So that kind of logic, ma'am.
Do you do this in all kinds of subjects?
Yes, ma'am. In all questions, ma'am, some way or other, you have to arrive at solution. You have to read the question, like, ma'am, restoration of Sor Palace. So, ma'am, it's the restoration, then my mind directly goes to the Afghanistan. Because India's policies of restoration and resettlement in Afghanistan.
Versus the other options were?
Other option, ma'am, it is in Sri Lanka, and then, ma'am, Bhutan, then one Maldives.
So then what will we restore there? Hai na?
Yes, ma'am. Restoration policies of Afghanistan, ma'am. Like,
I think that there's another thing that I'm not sure whether you're aware of this or not. It is only people who are reading these questions and these test papers so carefully that they remember the question for conversation. Matlab, you solve the paper and you do all these things, but you're able to tell me exactly what the question is.
Ma'am, and this year I've not given the exam, like,
and still,
exam
right?
Also, I just solved in my home. And even, ma'am, if you'll see the passage statement, if you'll go just by the first word of all the options, you'll get the answer.
Oh.
It is written ESA norms, like environmental social impact assessment.
Right.
And secondly, immediately do. So immediately comes, you straight away eliminate, you'll get the options were very simple, ma'am. So you should not get panicked. Calmness, ma'am, it is required. And just attentively questions, you should attempt the question attentively. And train your mind with lot of test series which is as per those questions. Like where logic, where like elimination is required, where understanding knowledge is there, and you have to use the knowledge to arrive at the solution through your logical conclusion, ma'am. So that's the meaning of logic for me.
I like this.
It's not a blind logic or elimination. Use your knowledge, because I'm using knowledge of India-Afghanistan relation to arrive at the solution. Like in Magdhechu hydropower project, India is having hydropower agreement with Nepal and this Bhutan.
Right.
India is also developing one Salma dam in Afghanistan. But if they're asking this word Magdhechu, it is not in Afghanistan, that's for sure.
It doesn't sound right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
One question, Jhula Ghat is between India and Myanmar. How come Jhula Ghat is a word, ma'am, which is not in Myanmar or maybe in India? If India...
Linguistically, it has
yes,
to
ma'am,
fit.
linguistically. In Agartala, Akhora, it's not in ASEAN.
How will it be?
Yes, ma'am, how it will be ASEAN? So, ma'am,
So, this paper has been very scary for a lot of students, simply because, our expectation becomes ki this is what we're going to study and this is what they should ask. But I see that you have this sense of accepting the paper and figuring out what you can do.
yes, ma'am.
I want to know more about your background and what you studied and where you come from and how long your journey has been, because your thought process shows maturity to me. So that's why I ask you, tell me about your journey.
Ma'am, I hail from Kodarma, Jhumri Tilia, Jharkhand.
Mm-hmm.
And my ancestor village is in Patna, Bihar.
Mm-hmm.
And I did my graduation from Ramjas College, University of Delhi, ma'am.
Thanks, college.
Yes, ma'am. So, and this is my first attempt in forest service, ma'am. So, I got
First attempt, rank 2. Okay, but so far I've seen you as a student for a while now, and you've been through the grind, you've made your mistakes. So I think that we owe it to the student community to tell them that this amount of logic, this amount of clarity takes a lot of application and takes a lot of toil. So tell me about that phase also.
Ma'am, initially when I started for prelims, ma'am, I was very clear in my mind after looking at the question of 2023.
23, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. 2023 question, if you'll see, ma'am, it's again the application of knowledge through logical understanding.
And that was also a scary paper.
Yes, ma'am. So that year, ma'am, I thought if I'll do the preparation for prelims or for mains, my whole focus should be on the understanding of the concept. Likewise, ma'am, what I used to do in last 2 years, how I developed all this thing. First is, ma'am, the discussion which I attended every discussion of SFG, ma'am. I never missed. Even if a single student is there in the class, I'll be that student, ma'am. Daily, ma'am. It was
I
my
remember
routine.
you sitting in the corner.
Yes, ma'am. I used to attend daily.
Right.
Then, ma'am, second thing, whenever I see any news, I never study newspaper, ma'am, in these 2 years. So whenever I see the editorial heading, I used to make editorial concept in my mind. How I will write this topic. If suppose editorial near on AI Impact Summit, so I'll see what should be there in the summit. Is there any talking of transparency or anything related to the gender sensitivity or anything related to international collaboration or whether it is inclusive? So I used to understand the basic instinct of AI Summit because in any summit, ma'am, these are the core principles where... There has to be some objective. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So it's just an expanded version of some agreement, new MOU may come, but the basic premise will remain the same.
That there's an agenda to do.
Yes, ma'am. If country from Europe is coming, then mostly it's related to technology, or if country from Middle East is coming, then food, agriculture, oil, gas, diaspora, remittances. So I used to make my mind map or brainstorming, ma'am, after looking at any topic.
I'll ask a strange question perhaps, but have you read the book Alchemist? The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. What you're doing, it's a beautiful thing that you're doing, which is that you look at the world, you're looking at everything that you're reading, and you're seeing the pattern behind it. Matlab, there's a mental map behind it. So you're reading the world around you, and I'll give you the book recommendation. So that's what the thing is of the book. It's a fable that helps you see that, to live your life, you have to read the patterns. Why I'm saying this is also because when you don't read the newspaper, as you're saying, I didn't read the newspaper, that doesn't mean that you're not doing the editorials. Yes. You're getting it from somewhere. Yes. Right? So you have a source for the news and you are constantly engaged with comprehending what's going on. Yes. Tell me your entire process for this. How are you approaching current affairs?
And likewise, ma'am, day before yesterday, the news were there, the private sector participation in defense. Yeah. So I just started recalling what are the policies for private sector participation, what will happen, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, and what is the target. If I remember the figure, it's okay. If I'm not remember, I'll see the news.
You're doing active recall constantly?
Yes, ma'am. Constantly, ma'am. Every time. Yes, ma'am. Whatever topics is coming relevant to my exam, I used to recall in my mind.
So your notes are in your mind, not on
no,
you're not constantly
basic
writing.
Notes are there, ma'am. But this current affair notes, ma'am, now again, national geothermal policy has come. So I used to recall, ma'am, in my mind that where it is Puga, Manikaran, map, Sonata. So like that, ma'am, active. It should be active. It should not happen that मैं बाद में देख लूँगा and all that.
Because that's वो टल गया ना.
Yes, ma'am. So.
अच्छा. Started talking in one direction only. I want to talk about your scores for the examination. Tell me the scores for your exam so that I have another reason to be joyous. Tell me paper-wise what you've gotten.
Ma'am, in agriculture, ma'am, I scored 228. And in because it's out of 400, ma'am. If you'll compare with the 500 of CSE, it's around 280.
Right.
And in geology, ma'am, I got 256 out of 400. And ma'am, in general knowledge, I scored the highest 162, ma'am. And
Because you do things like
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And English, ma'am, 130. And yes, ma'am. And interview, ma'am, I have one of the highest score, ma'am, 229.
which is fabulous.
Ma'am.
65% of IS toppers under rank 10 and 20 in CSE 2025 final list have been students of Mains Guidance Program MGP by Forum IS Academy, including rank 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19. Mains Guidance Program MGP 2026 to 27. Join Mains Guidance Program, India's most trusted program for mains preparation. To know more about MGP, speak to an IS topper near you or email us at contact@forumis.com.
So I need to ask you about all of these stages. What is the specificity? What do you decide? Because it was your first attempt for Forest, to be able to do it correctly on the first shot, it requires a lot of clarity of thought. So let's start with English, because in CSE, people don't really, it's just a qualifying paper, but here you are marked for it. And while preparing, there is a lot of discourse about why should we care about grammar, answer hi to hai, and even they don't mark you against it. But do you think that grammar and diction really are important for your main scores? And how do you specifically prepare for the English portion for the forest services?
Ma'am, while I was there in library, ma'am, I had one junior. I joined one library where I was residing right now. So she is Anjali, ma'am. She has given 3 to 4 attempts of CSE. So I was having less time because, ma'am, I have to prepare 2 optional. So I told her before examination, before 10 days, you just make PYQ of every grammar topic, and she used to come daily in the library in the morning, and 1 hour she used to tell me ki
aise
karna hai. So I did that only, and then, ma'am, again the active recalling, because the topic I got in essay, ma'am, is the environment and development. So I started with Hulangapur Wildlife Sanctuary and the Western Hulog, given the question which has come. Because when I flipped the newspaper, I saw one ape hanging on from the branches and crying to save himself. So, ma'am, because that gives you added advantage, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You are into the topic. Then you give a lot of examples of environment displacement. Then, ma'am, one essay has come up, like one write-up has come up that age is not related to knowledge and knowledge is not related to age. So I again crafted in a manner which again based on this, ma'am, logical understanding and all. So, ma'am, and grammar I prepared with the help of Anjali. So, ma'am, finally I got. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me about the optionals, because again, everybody is at a rush to finish these optionals for forest. The first question often becomes, is it really possible to do it properly? Of course, you've done it, but the thing is, what is the methodology to be able to do it properly, and how does one get all of these scores?
Ma'am, for optional, ma'am, because it's a technical in nature, and the topics and the things which you'll get, ma'am, it's unheard of you if you are in the journey of a CSE or the UPSC preparation. So, ma'am, more focus is required on optional, and if possible, you can take classes, ma'am. Like in my case, ma'am, I did geology from Planet Geology, and I have done agriculture optional from Vajiram and Ravi. So, ma'am, because it's a technical in nature, you need some guidance, ma'am. It can't happen on self-studies. And then, ma'am, I think answer writing is slightly less important in optional, ma'am, because it's a technical in nature. If they're asking what is sandstone, you will directly write it. What is the classification? Yes, ma'am. There is no subjectivity involved. And scoring is also, ma'am, conducive if you are able to recall and put it on the paper.
True, right.
But, ma'am, challenge is that the syllabus is vast. Terminology is unique. You have to give a lot of time. So, ma'am, it's a time taking and hectic also. But, ma'am, if you're a science background, it's interesting also if you'll understand concept.
I understand. So that's why, again, that's why the eligibility is limited in that way. The subject has to.
Even the combinations are there, ma'am. Like you can't take agriculture with forestry.
Yeah.
So there are certain, you can't take agriculture with agriculture engineering.
because it's the same thing.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. मतलब similar, of course,
Yes,
not the same. Acha, tell me how you prepare for answer writing in general. Of course, it doesn't matter that much, but at the same time, to be able to identify the question, what they mean, and that deciphering, and for the other parts of the exam as well. So, how does one train for answer writing, and what does one have to do?
Ma'am, for answer writing, ma'am, in 2024, I given CSE mains. So I joined AWFG, ma'am, for completing the paper. And ma'am, whatever program I joined your forum, I followed it very, very dedicatedly, ma'am.
Religiously.
It's like a serious, very first priority of my day is to write the answer, write the test.
We are very fortunate that we have serious students who listen to everything. And do you get it? As someone who is to tell you what to do, all I need is someone to just listen and do it. Right? So when I hear this, it gives me a sense of peace. So very good. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, ma'am. After writing 1 hour of AWFG, ma'am, in the where
The
earlier, yes,
building,
ma'am. So I used to shake my hand after writing the yes, ma'am, because it's very tedious writing all the 7 question, ma'am, within span of 1 hour, and that too there are sub parts in the question. You have to understand the question. So that boosted my answer writing. That's why, ma'am, this year in my mains I have not relied so much on answer writing, because it was the result of the last year preparation, ma'am. And I used to write in 2024, ma'am, just because of overdoing the GS, ma'am, I missed upon in final mains, ma'am. I used to write 3 answers daily, ma'am. 1 in forum, then I used to go to vision, then I used to come at forum, and at 10 o'clock at the night, I used to go to my home. So in a day, I used to write, yes, ma'am. I used to write like 9 hours in 3 to 4 days, ma'am. It was my routine for 1 week. So I used to write 3 tests in a day.
You are very militaristic in
Yes,
the way
ma'am.
that you treat
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
This has to happen, and it will happen.
Yes, ma'am. This is my job. I have to do it.
It's impressive, but sometimes it backfires also.
Yeah, it
hai na?
backfired, ma'am, because I overdid GS, and finally I got less time in optional, and due to optional only, ma'am, I flunked in mains 2024. But ma'am, positive thing is that this year I have not studied GK
Because
all
of
3 to 4 months, ma'am, because I was aware last year I had done a lot of effort, and I straight away wrote answer in my final examination, ma'am. And I scored
It's a
162.
big risk.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
because you've done overkill 9
Yes,
hours
ma'am.
already, so matlab it does average out, I
But ma'am,
guess.
daily current affair, like active recalling, I used to do.
You do.
I never written answer
Like
during
that.
those days, but daily news I used to see, and I used to recall in my mind what I know about it. So ma'am, that ultimately helped me in final.
Muscle memory is real,
Ma'am.
after all. So right now, in this conversation, you're coming across as someone who does everything right, who's very disciplined, who does everything correctly. But I know that you make mistakes.
Yes.
Tell me about the dumb mistakes that you've made, so that people know that it's normal. It is still a human being who's talking about all these things.
And one of the mistake, ma'am, which you are aware, ma'am.
You have to tell us.
Yes, ma'am. In mains 2024 ethics paper, ma'am, I have written case study 7 answer in 8 and 8th answer in question number 7. So straight away after paper, ma'am, I made a call to you, and on top of that, ma'am, I made one remark also in the paper.
Yes,
that
yes.
mistakenly I have done this. And ma'am, you told me that it's the biggest mistake. You should have avoided it, ma'am. Ultimately, I got 102 marks. If you would have 40 marks, ma'am, it's a huge gap. And second mistake, ma'am, I did less focus on optional in CSE, ma'am, which I feel it should be balanced. It should not be overdone like I used to do. So, ma'am, balance has to be there between GS and optional. It should not happen you go for optional all time long. It should not happen you go for GS all time long. And answer writing also, it should be calibrated. It should not happen that you used to write a lot of answers.
That's why I was saying that you have this unique, special trait in you, that you lock into something and then you're going to do it consistently and with a lot of dedication. And see, we look at that as a wonderful, beautiful quality. But excess of even that creates problems, isn't it? So that's why we have to calibrate properly. Tell me about asking for help and support. Because for someone who's as clear-headed as you are, asking questions does take, a little bit of effort. So is that something that impacted your journey? How did you come to terms with figuring out how to, go out, seek support? Because everybody who's coming from a good educational background, the understanding is simply that there is a book, I read the book, I get the exam, and I'm fine. And a lot of people get stuck in this exam cycle because of this. Because, we walk in thinking, aise karke padna hai, that's it. But there is an element of cooperation of community that is valid here. So tell me about that, seeking help. And again, like Anjali has helped you. How do you look for friends, family, mentors, teachers, everything? How do you?
Ma'am, regarding, I got a good junior, ma'am. And they were already like helping me with a lot of things. Even in my agriculture optional class, there were 2 juniors who used to send me the updated facts and figure, ma'am, for value addition. And then in family, ma'am, I'm married, so my wife always supported me, ma'am, in this endeavors. Used to motivate me. Yes, ma'am. And then, ma'am, teachers, ma'am, especially at Forum, ma'am, you and geography. I'm not aware what the name, sir. Geography. Rudresh, sir, and you, ma'am. So I learned ethics from you, ma'am, and I was doing very good in ethics, ma'am. And still, I think, ma'am, ethics, I can write answer even though I have not revised my ethics. So
I've always thought that good people don't need to study that much of ethics. You just need to know how to write.
yes,
So that's credit to you. Good.
you have to put yourself into that situation and just
Yes.
think what you will do.
And do the right thing.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what you think of how do you want to build your life going forward? So for a lot of us, what people think is कि ठीक है, we're going to clear the exam and everything's going to be, that's it. That is where the story ends. But I want you to think aloud as to what you want should happen next. What are your dreams and expectations coming forward?
Ma'am, I think the main task starts from here, ma'am. And in training, ma'am, I want to again do good, ma'am. I want to top the training curriculum also. I want to study everything. I want to observe professionally. I want to be sound, ma'am. Because, ma'am, when I'll be professionally sound, then my senior and junior will be like taken care of. And next thing, ma'am, whatever I'll do, ma'am, it is as per the rule of law, along with slight touch of empathy and compassion, ma'am. Because I'll be the part of the service, ma'am, which based upon these ethical things like sustainability and the compassion for wildlife. Because, ma'am, our whole life revolves around the forest and wildlife, ma'am, in some way or other. So that's the road ahead, ma'am, for me.
Tell me about your interview. Did they ask you questions like this? Because you've got an exceptional interview score also. People tend to think that the interview is only about diction and language and being very, charming. Not to say that you're not charming, of course. But what happens in your interview and how do you approach it?
Ma'am, for interview preparation, ma'am, I was part of IGP at Forum, ma'am. I had given 2 mock interviews also. The first interview, ma'am, it was on average side, but the second interview, ma'am, it was very good at Forum. So when I given interview, ma'am, there were a lot of questions, ma'am, which I think I hit the bullseye. Like the first question, ma'am, when I entered the room, chairperson asked me, what is the name of a school? I told Grizzly Vidyalaya. Then he asked, what is the meaning of Grizzly? I told him it's a bear which is found in South America.
Right, Grizzly bear.
Then, and it gives agility and strength. So he asked how your school has provided you agility and strength. I told him, sir, I think knowledge is a thing which school has imparted and knowledge has provided me agility and strength. So, and one more question, ma'am, regarding over discipline. So I answered him correctly. And one lady member, she was asking me optional related question like what is Island Arc, what is Agriculture Research Institute and all that. And it was kind of discussion, ma'am. They never cross questions were not there. And even though in some question I was not aware, I was just telling, sir, I am not aware, I'll go and read about it. And I was very calm. I was directly looking in their eyes. And it was a very conducive environment, ma'am. So finally, with God's grace, ma'am.
It is a blessing for sure. Because, people need to know that you get exceptional marks in your interview, even when you don't know everything. But you just have to be courteous about it. And there are certain things that you must know. For example, if in your interview, if you don't know what the island arc is, that is a problem, isn't it? So there is a difference in the questions which you can and cannot know. That I think that the boundary is clear for you. Well, it is wonderful to speak to you. It is wonderful to see you succeed. It is wonderful to see the joy that is surrounding you again. Thank you for taking out the time to coming out here at Forum. Thank you for being a wonderful student.
Thank you, ma'am.
Forum is starting a residential program and specifically designed for those students who didn't clear prelims earlier. At that moment, I felt that this program is tailor-made for you because what you described in that email, it felt like somebody was describing me.
नहीं सर, मैंने नहीं बनाया, ये मैं क्रेडिट नहीं लूँगा. आपने बनाया है, मैंने उसको गाइड किया है बस. और हर माता पिता करता है ना, कौन नहीं करता है सर. कौन नहीं चाहता है सर?
Fortunately, sir, I cleared prelims, and then, sir, the same schedule for mains FRC 4 started at the same place, and again I made the same promise. चाहे वो AWFG का टेस्ट हो या SFG का हो या करंट अफेयर्स की क्लास हो, I'll do it. सब कुछ करूँगा जैसा जैसा मुझे बताया जा रहा है, and fortunately it worked again. Then I stayed there for interview also, and fortunately I got the rank.
And before coming to FRC, literally there was a lot of broken confidence. And I thought I would never be able to clear pre. This is the biggest hurdle of my life. But then, ever since December, things changed. And I just followed the plan to the hilt. Gave every test, even the open test, all the simulators, the CSAT simulators also. It was for the first time that I cleared the prelims, I cleared the mains, and then I cleared the interview and finally got a job under Government of India. I was a part of FRC 1 and FRC 4. So I think FRC played an instrumental role in making me what I am today.
So I was scared, very honestly. I think a lot of my motivation for so many things is just a fear of failure. I'm not sure what a therapist or a psychologist might say about that.
मेरा नाम डॉक्टर आकांक्षा सिंह है। मैं गाज़ीपुर ज़िले से रहने वाली हूँ। मैं ऐसे पेशे से डॉक्टर हूँ। मैंने MBBS और मास्टर्स कर रखी है। मैं गायनाकोलॉजिस्ट हूँ। ये मेरा सेकंड अटैम्प्ट था जिसमें मेरी 301 रैंक आई है UPSC CSE 2025 में।
So first is a sense of discipline, whether that's SFG or in sometimes that I followed in AWFG also for the mains part. A sense of discipline that this is the target for the day. You got to complete your syllabus in material, whether you're completing 80%, 70%, 100%, but you have to come up, show up every day and write the test.
Many congratulations to all of you who have cleared the prelims. Let us give them a big hand.
I subscribed to the second level of SFG. I think I told you so. I had gotten to know about sir from a very close friend, which was honestly like my paradigmatic change, if you will call it, towards prelims preparation came when I heard sir speak on prelims.
%65% of IS toppers under rank 10 and 20 in CSE 2025 final list have been students of Mains Guidance Program MGP by Forum IS Academy, including rank 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19. Mains Guidance Program MGP 2026-27. Join Mains Guidance Program, India's most trusted program for mains preparation. To know more about MGP, speak to an IS topper near you or email us at contact@forumis.com.